Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Honey Let's Talk, where we say when we talk, we make it better. So today, it's been a while actually since we did one of these videos. Today we are talking about our 4th year anniversary, what we have learned, and what we are thinking as we look into the 5th year. Imagine it's been 4 years.
I can't even believe
together
with one person. Imagine.
With one person. When you wanted like, someone else?
No, as in we've lived this life for 5 years together.
Yeah.
As in with no one else
been awesome.
in it. No, like aside from kids.
Yeah. It's been amazing. We've learned a few things, so we want to share some of the things we have learned, lessons we have learned, and what we are thinking as we step into the next phase. Yeah. So what have you learned about yourself in the past 4 years?
That we've grown in size. I think that's one of the things that we have. Not only have we grown in terms of family, but also our bodies are not the same as they were in the first year.
No, my body was like this.
No, you are not like this. You were really small. This was not there. But it means you're eating well. So I thank God.
I don't think it's eating well. Maybe it's eating junk. We should cook healthy food. Yeah. I think we need to talk about that.
No.
That is one of the things that is not working. Anywho, so 4 years now, I think one of the things that I have learned myself, and probably it's something that we've talked about, is that marriage is not a sprint.
Yeah.
It's a marathon. Is like you need to pace yourself, and in every corner you need to evaluate and figure out, do I increase pace, do I reduce pace, do I rest if I need to rest, or do I need to put aside some of the things that I've been carrying. And I think when we started, because it was 2019, then 2020 COVID, we were just in the house. There was nothing much we were doing. It's just being in the house, working from home. And the concept of working from home was, strange and foreign to us, probably because we work in a church. And yeah, so it was a bit flowing in 2020, because we were just the two of us in the house. We were just hanging around the house, doing stuff together. Then we went back to work, and things started changing, shifting. We no longer have the time that we used to have. We no longer see each other many hours.
Okay,
yeah, because we are at work.
Many hours.
Many hours of just being away from each other, which was a bit strange and interesting, because we were used to being together and doing everything together. Now going back to work, whereby we just, we see each other a few minutes. We got a baby, and when you come back home, we are thinking about the baby. So really, we had to readjust ourselves.
Yeah.
Something that we really did do well, especially this 3rd year, as we're getting to the 4th year, because we were, I don't know if we didn't know how to adjust.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's part of the life that comes with having a baby. Because we both were new parents. We've never had done this before, and so a lot of things were new to both of us.
Yeah. And
I think we had to figure out, okay, this is how now we need to parent. This is how we need to take care of our child.
Yeah.
This is what it means to think financially in terms of the future of the child. Then we had a nanny, so that means dynamics in terms of staying in the house was a bit different.
Staying in the house?
Yeah,
or doing stuff. Doing stuff in the house.
Yeah, like the way we were running,
utilizing the car.
The way we were running things in the house now has changed, because there's another human being
running things.
But all I can say is we both had to
learn. The running parts, the running things.
I think it's just
now we walk around with clothes.
It's like all of a sudden there's a switch.
Yeah,
there's a switch with things,
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah, that's true.
And we were constantly in the house, most of the time, with our own time, having so much fun. And now we had to adjust a lot. And then you see now again we're back to work. So I think it's just what it comes with having a child and literally your household changing. Yeah, so I'd just say we had to learn to know how to adjust as well.
And I think that's a key thing in marriage. If you ask me, that couples need to learn how to adjust based on the season. Because sometimes we want to do things the same way, but we are in a different season that requires a different set of skills to maneuver. Because before we thought being intentional in having dates will just mean we set a day. Now with a child, sometimes you set a day. That day is when you need to be home, or the baby is not well, so you have to be home. So you have to really adjust and figure out things around that. So I think the adjusting part was hard because one, we are busy, and getting home at night because of the nature of our work is talking to people. Then when you get to the house, you want to breathe.
Or not talk again.
Not talk again. Just get space, your own space, and figure out. And if we didn't really adjust to figure out how to work around that, then I think it would have been a rough year.
I think I've learned, and I think it's something that we'll keep learning from year 1 to maybe probably year 100 when we are old. Is that we had to be, and we have to keep being intentional, especially with our own marriage, like in terms of me and you. Because I've realized that
there's another marriage.
No,
okay.
we've had to allow ourselves to really get to, you get to spaces where there's so much distractions. You have, aside from work, you have other things that are competing with your own time for each other. And so we had to somehow find a way of somehow guarding days in terms of probably the date days, guarding those, and even those, as he said, would somehow be disrupted in a way, but just keeping on, just knowing that, okay, let's try again this week, let's try again this week. And I think those are things that I've realized, if you're not intentional enough to, if this week it didn't work, to next week say, okay, let's try it again, then you might actually never end up doing what you intended to do in your marriage. So I've realized whatever it is that the both of you are working on, you have to really be intentional, and even just knowing how the other person is. And I think that's the harder part, because you have another person to think about and to know how are they doing. But I've realized it's also very important to also know how your spouse is doing, especially in terms of emotionally, psychologically, because there's so much that is going on around us that needs us to be attentive to. And so even that, sitting down and just going, okay, today how was your day? And I'd say not all the days we would ask each other that, but I think I've realized that it's like today you won't ask the question, tomorrow you may not ask it, but on Wednesday probably you say, okay, we need to ask this question and find out how we are doing. So I've realized it's just a matter of you may not be consistent every single day, but you have to keep those things that you knew were foundation to be more of a consistent pattern in your marriage.
And I think one of those things is having a date where you just go out and talk about the two of you, how you're feeling, what is going on, what needs to be changed, and then what needs to be adjusted, because you'll be adjusting a lot, especially in your marriage as you progress. But also having a day where you talk about the future and thinking about the future, because it's coming so fast. And I know, like for us, we've been talking about finances because now having a child makes us think about the future. Something we were not thinking about when we were in year one. We were just thinking of YOLO and have fun. But the adjustment, you have to be intentional about this thing. Having a day, guard it with all due diligence. And if you need to adjust it, do it on another day, but make sure you do it. I keep telling my friends that you need to have a date day. Because if we are giving our time to everything else and not giving it to the marriage, then at some point the marriage will struggle. And for those who probably you're struggling in your marriage right now, you've not gone on a date for a very long time, or you're in a difficult space in your marriage, it's good to just say, hey, can we set up a day that we just go and talk? Even if you go into the date, you find yourself fighting, it's okay, keep on doing it and learning new ways and advancing in that direction. So another thing that I've learned is that marriage is like a team. Okay, it's like a sport. Okay, whereby we are both of us, we are playing on the same team. The challenge is, even when we have conflict, we need to remember that we are on the same team. We might not agree on, maybe I'm playing in a different position this month, I'm supposed to be playing here, and maybe we're having conflict because of that. But at the end of the day, we're on the same team. If we lose, we lose together. If we win, we win together. Even if one of us is not in line, it's the same team. And seeing marriage in that perspective helps me understand that at the end of the day, even if we have conflict, even if there's something that is bothering us, that I need to put the effort myself so that we win as a team. And if I have tried and I don't want to work on things, then the marriage loses. At the end of the day, as a team, we go home having lost the game. But also thinking about it in that perspective is that marriage also requires a coach. The same as a team, you need a coach. You need to learn from someone who knows these things. You need to learn maybe from books, from podcasts. Some of you are watching this video. You need to learn from others and say, okay, that makes sense. I think it's something we will try out in our marriage. So you have to continue growing in your marriage. We were not this way in our first year of marriage. We've learned a lot. There are many things right now we are saying, I wish we knew these things before we started. But you learn in the process, and in the journey you continue. There's a quote that I've come to love recently, is that the joy is in the journey. If you're not enjoying the journey, and you're thinking, oh, maybe when we get to the destination, when we have a big house, we'll be happy, or when we have children, we'll be happy. No, the joy is in the journey. If you are trying to get children, enjoy the process. Have joy in the journey. If you're looking for a job, both of you probably are broke. Don't procrastinate your joy, saying that the destination, when I get a job, when I get here, when I do this, when I get a promotion, when I find time. No, enjoy the season and enjoy, because the joy is in the journey. Another thing is that it's, as a team, there's always substitute. Okay, we are playing in the same team, but we'll be playing in different positions depending on the season. There are seasons that you're the one leading in terms of parenting our children, because you have more time than I have. There are times that I'll have more time than you, so I am there, I'm covering you, I'm doing the things that needs to be done. Just the fact that you don't have time, I shouldn't allow balls to drop because you don't have time. No, I can say this is my season to put in the effort. Maybe in the future it's your season to put in the effort, and you tag team together, you substitute on the roles and continue growing. And I think that's how I think marriage should be. It's supporting each other, but at the end of the day, we are on the same team, and the joy is in the journey. So we play every game as if it's the last game. We enjoy it.
I think we should end it there.
I think it's
but I think the other thing that I think I've learned, and we both actually had to learn, is how to fight well, not
fighting fair,
handling conflict well. I think that's something I feel we've really grown well in, learning how to talk through issues without it being I resent you, or without it being I hate you. But like knowing when this is the conflict, so let's handle it, and then we move on from there and handle other things. Because I've realized, as he was saying, marriage is a marathon, and again, there are so many things that are moving so fast, and so you really don't have time to sit on one conflict and wallow in it, and constantly be in it. You have to move, as in there's so much that you're thinking about, there's so much that is around you. But I've realized that I think learning what ways can we handle conflict together as a couple that works for us. It may not have worked for someone else, but for us, there's a way that it has worked. I feel like that has really helped us in the marriage to focus on the goals that we have, and let that be like the guiding path. Because conflict can easily make you not talk to one another for like a whole year, a whole month, a whole week. But I think it's just the intentionality of this is the situation, this is the issue,
we have to overcome
it.
I think with conflict, I was telling some guys that I'm discipling, and I was asking them the question, who do you go to when you can't resolve conflicts? Because sometimes you want to stay in the same thing and you really want to resolve the conflict, but you have no idea how to resolve the conflict. And it's important as a married couple to figure out, okay, if we ever have this kind of situation, who do we talk to? Who do we give permission to share? Because sometimes I've realized for these 4 years that we've been married, that we can really be difficult to each other. We can really, come hard on each other, depending on a season that we are in and the situation. And it's okay sometimes to say, okay, this thing is an issue right now, but we are not in the right space mentally to solve it. So this is what we're gonna do. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna talk to this person, we're gonna share this, we're gonna work on ourselves, because most of the conflict that we have will not be resolved because of pride. Because once there is pride, no one wants to come down, then that conflict will escalate. Or no forgiveness. Or thinking, instead of the issue now, you're fighting the person. Those are some of the things that you need to learn, and it's something that you just have to learn. There's no way, because conflict is inevitable. You will have conflict in your marriage. You will fight on small and big things, and especially when you have children, you start fighting on, or you might find yourself you're not fighting, but you're really not relating with each other. You're just staying
it's
together.
About the children.
It's about the children.
You forget each other, and so by the time you're coming to actually get to know how the other person is doing, it's more of, all this time, what have you been doing? It's like, we don't have to talk about this right now. But really,
you can be busy and caught up with stuff.
But really, children will grow up and they leave the two.
They will leave you there, and you just need to focus on each other. So here's what we are thinking as we are moving forward. Number one is to adjust and find more time, intentional time to date, intentional time to think about each other. 2 is to, of course, invest in our marriage. This is books, this is podcasts, this is friends, just investing in our marriage and figuring out what are the things that we need to learn, that we need to work on. I think if we learned about finances when we were beginning, it will be easier for us right now, because we are thinking about finances a lot right now. We are saying to ourselves, we don't want to be where we are another 2-3 years. We need to work on something better, and the next time we're doing such a video, we want to share more stories of success and wins from our end. But also another thing that we are thinking as we look into the future is now figuring out holidays, rhythms of rest. How do we rest together? How do we go on holidays together? How do we give our children an experience? Even though we are busy, and I know the work doesn't stop, we just have to put boundaries and figure out our own time. So as we look to the future, we are praying more. We're thinking of praying more, investing in friendship more, people who we can journey together. And make more babies. Yes.
No.
What do you mean, no? It's fun.
Oh my God.
The joy is in the journey.
The joy is in the journey.
The joy is in the journey. Otherwise, guys, thank you.
As the Lord leads us,
As the Lord leads. Thank you very much for joining in. We apologize for the sound. We are actually somewhere on holiday and we just thought of doing this simple video to share with you guys.
Yes.
Otherwise, see you
See you
in the next one. Bye bye.